Good evening, everyone. I CA Pragya Jain. On behalf of the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee, ICI welcome all the participants in today's webcast, Measuring the Intangible, a soft skill audit. First of all, I welcome to today's resource person, Mr. Govind Mishra ji, and other present over here. And it's a great privilege me to introduce today's speaker, Mr. Govind Mishra ji. He is a seasoned corporate trainer and learning and development specialist with over 15 years of experience in facilitating impactful training sessions for diverse industries. He known for engaging style, storytelling, and result-oriented approach. Govindji has trained thousands of professionals ranging from entry level to leadership role. He specializes in designing customized programs that enhance productivity, communication, leadership, and team synergy. So once again, we welcome you, sir, and the session is all yours. Over to you, sir.
Thank you very much, ma'am. And as the new normal says that I should cross-check my voice, is it audible?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you for such a warm welcome and introduction. And I'm really delighted. So all the ladies and gentlemen, Devi and Sajjanu, welcome on this great evening. An evening which is going to add something to your life, to my life. And definitely it is going to cross-check a lot of parameters of our life. And rightly said that numbers may build trust, but it is the people who decide whether that trust lasts. And if technical skills are the engine of a career, soft skills are the fuel. Indeed, soft skills are the fuel. And as chartered accountants, you master numbers, you master compliances, and you master regulations. But ladies and gentlemen, pause for a moment and ask yourself, do clients remember you only for your perfect calculations or the clarity with which you explain them? I believe that the client remember you for a lot of things, not just the calculations. And one more question, do colleagues value your technical brilliance or also the way you infuse confidence during a crisis? The truth is, a profession is no longer just about accuracy. It has become about influence as well. An influence in a wonderful and positive way towards all the stakeholders. Regulations will keep changing, technology will keep disrupting, but your ability to communicate with clarity, adapt with agility, and connect with empathy and project the credibility, it will decide whether you are just a service provider or a trusted advisor. Ladies and gentlemen, today we are not auditing books. We are auditing ourselves, our communication, adaptability, emotional intelligence, and the professional presence. Today's session is not a lecture. It's an audit of your invisible assets, your soft skills. And just like any audit, it will reveal strengths, weaknesses, and the areas that demand urgent attention. So ask yourself, where do I stand? And more importantly, where do I want to be? We will venture into the answers of these questions today. I will try to take you on the path less taken in soft skills audit. So ladies and gentlemen, let's start the journey. Let's venture into those paths. Measuring the intangible, a soft skills audit. So what we're going to cover today, we'll be focusing on 4 areas. The first is obviously your communication audit. I believe that you might be listening these words in auditing for the first time. Communication audit? Come on. We are chartered accountants, we are the auditors of financials. Definitely, you all are amazing and brilliant auditor of the financials. You are the backbone of the economy. You are rather the foundation of the country. Definitely. But before the technical audit part, don't you think the communication audit part plays the role? Even after you are done with the technical audit, you have to pass on that audit information to the stakeholders. And here comes again the communication audit part. Second, we'll be sharing concepts, we'll be finding solutions about adaptability and problem solving audit. The world is changing every day. Every day. What happens in US, we could feel the ripple effect in India. What happens in Asia, Europe could feel the heat of it. What happens in Africa, the entire world looks at Africa with eagerness. And what happens in Australia, definitely the impact might be on our profession as well. Everything is changing. We need to be adaptive. And because things keep on changing, we might be facing a lot of problems, a lot of problems. And this is what life is, If you are alive, you have problems. But the real person is one who tries to find out the solutions to the problems. So today we'll try to venture into this audit as well. The third, an area which is a kind of alien for a lot of people. But thanks to the transformation we all faced during last 5-7 years, one area which was like avoided, which was ignored. Now, most of the people on this planet have been talking about that area, and that is called emotional intelligence. We all have experienced the intelligence because of which we have gained our degrees, because of which we have gained financial status. But the intelligence which makes you human is neglected by a lot of people, ladies and gentlemen, and that's we call the intelligence of emotions. And finally, the last part. If you want to do gargantuan task, you need people. You need people. Alone, definitely you can achieve your goals. But what about the goals which are much bigger, which has a lot, much wider scope than the personal goals? What about the organizational goals? What about the professional goals? What about the societal goals? Is it possible that alone we can fulfill it? Never. We need a lot of people. We need a lot of people. And that's why we need people around us. We need people in our life. We need people in our organization. And hence, the last audit focuses on these areas. So let's start the journey of the first part called communication audit. We have 120 minutes today. And I just pray, I just wish, and I just assure that you will be getting the best ROTI today, return on time invested of 120 minutes. And the moment I spoke these lines, ladies and gentlemen, my communication audit process started. Because what I did, I just gave you a scope of my audit. I gave you a scope that what we are going to cover. I gave you the areas where we'll be foraying into. And this is how I believe that we all plan our audit. We'll be having checklist, whether I'm communicating properly, whether I'm using rhetorics or not, whether am I articulative, and while speaking, am I assertive for the pointers I'm speaking? All these things, they will decide the depth of my audit, where I'll be going, I'll be finding out. And this is how I'll plan my audit of the communication skills I have right now. Also, we'll be covering the past from where we came. Because the audit is of the past. It's the historical analysis, the trends analysis. And then we'll try to forecast for the coming future. So we'll be creating the bridge between the past, the future, through the present. And this is the power of audit. And if your audit is unqualified, you all know that you are of value to the society. So today, chartered accountancy profession, I'm really happy and proud because it has become a benchmark across the globe. Benchmark in terms of the accounting field, in terms of the auditing field, in terms of the taxation field. I'm proud to be associated with ICI. And during my last 15 years of association with ICI, I have analyzed that the CA profession has transformed. There had been a paradigm shift from the numbers, from the crunching of numbers, from the calculations to leadership, to assertiveness, to more awareness. We have forayed into numerous ventures. Today's chartered accountant, they are not only the expert of number crunchings, but they are becoming the experts of human resources as well. We are now trying to understand the people in our organization, the people outside our organization. And that is why when we are dealing with people, we need to understand the process of communication changes everything. Because the words we speak, the words which we utter, the vocal cord, it is responsible for making relations and it is responsible for breaking relations. And that's why we need to be very vigilant. We need to be very skeptic. You all know the word professional skepticism. So in these audits, what we are going to cover today, again, we require the same skills. Professional skepticism, we require it. We need to be more qualitative. We need to focus on the concrete evidences, and we need to use the holistic analysis, the 360-degree analysis. And this is possible when we use one of the best qualities required, and that is called observation. So we need to observe a lot of things from the audit we are going to conduct today. You all are amazingly settled in your life. Some might be very successful in their job life, employment life. Some might be very successful in their practice life. Some might be great consultants. But at the end, when your employer pays you money, when your client pays you money, and in consultancy, when someone comes to you and they pay you the money, do you know, it's not just about the knowledge, not just about the knowledge, but the way you interact them, the way you add value in their life, the way you influence them with your knowledge, with your style, with your personality, and the way you create the trust between. These are the factors on the basis of which your client, your employer, they pay you. And apart from the monetary payment, the recognition we get, that is the biggest reward in our profession. And the people we add in our life, it is just because of the clarity, influence, and trust we bestow on people, we pass on to the others around us in our surrounding. And that is why this is a kind of quality which nobody can stop from using. If you have people, they will definitely try to copy from you. And that's a good way of passing the information, passing the qualities you possess to others. Sabka saath aur sabka vishwas and vikas as well. So communication will help you for sabka vikas. So let's talk about the scope. That what is the scope of communication audit? Today, we are not going to step into the areas of 7 C's of communication. Today, we are not going to enter into the areas of verbal communication, non-verbal communication, paraverbal communication. Again, these are the areas which are 100% primary for the topic of communication only. We are one step ahead of the topic of communication. We are doing the auditing of that process. And when you talk about auditing of the process, we need a structure. We need to decide that what we need to do, where we can step into, what are the boundaries. Hence, we need the stage of planning. Because when you talk about planning of audit, we need to take into consideration a lot of effects, a lot of factors rather, sorry, not effects, factors. And some factors might be used as a leverage as well. And planning is that phase which brings concrete structure to your entire process. So, auditing, when you're talking about the auditing of your entire communications, we need to understand when you talk about planning 5W, 1H, who, where, when, why, where, and I'm missing one. And then comes 1H, how. So these are the 5Ws, 1H, which will help you for the planning stage. When you have the answers of the 5W, 1H, then you will think about the resources you have right now and the resources you require during the process. Make a list out of all those resources. That where are you going for speaking, or where you are going to communicate, who the second person is. You have to organize everything. If any content, if any information, if any knowledge is required, you have to organize them in a structure. And then when you start communicating with people, you have to give a direction. Because without direction, nobody can understand. You have to direct. You have to be the person who will lead entire process. So directing is very much required in the entire process of communication. And when you are going to audit it again, as a professional, you need to direct your entire auditing process. That what are the factors? That what are the methodologies being followed? Then comes the next part, coordinating. Coordinating. Here comes the role of the other three audits, which we'll be discussing after the communication part. Coordinating, it involves all the stakeholders of the communication process. Being a chartered accountant, definitely you are the one who is passing on the knowledge. You are the one who is making the reports. You are the one who is signing the reports. You are the one who is giving consultancy. But yes, along with this, we need coordination of others as well. Sometimes we need the internal stakeholders. Sometimes we need the external stakeholders. There should be a coordination between them. Because if there's no coordination, what information you are sharing through the channel might distort the entire meaning of that communication. Now, being an auditor, you have to understand the entire process, the entire channel, the methodologies the channel is using, the sender receiver encryption, decryption methodology. Are all they coordinated? Are the stakeholders coordinating? And as you all are chartered accountants, you know you need evidences. SA530. And for that, you have to do sampling. SA530 sampling. And when you talk about sampling, you have to use heterogeneous sources, heterogeneous methodologies. Because if we are collecting the evidences sampling from homogeneous sources, the credibility of that opinion would be negligible. Hence, coordination is a process. If you look at it, you can cross-check where might be the leakages, where might be the lacunae. And this is how you can step on the part called controlling. Now, first, as a communicator, when you are using the controlling part, definitely you need to understand that who the audiences are. According to them, you have to use the content. Where you are going to speak, the logistics, accordingly, you have to plan your entire content delivery. And then when you are on the stage or when you are talking to someone in front of you, when you started interacting, you need to understand that the 7 C's, obviously you have to follow. You have to be concise, but you have to be concrete. You have to be correct, but you have to be considerate. So you need to understand that how much I need to speak, where to take a pause, where to keep silent, where to have a smile. But yes, when to be a bit of dominant. When do I need to show my control? When do I need to be very submissive? All these factors will fall under the controlling part. And as an auditor, you have to understand that if, as a speaker, these are the factors, then as an auditor, these are the factors of control. You have to check on these areas that while speaking, did you follow the factors that we just shared right now? Did you maintain that time frame? Did you choose the option of using silence as a reply? Did you use the power of voice to pass on your message clearly, articulatively? You have to go into all details of these controls. Then only, ladies and gentlemen, last stage, the forecasting. Now, the communication audit and your statutory audit is a bit different here now. In your audit, you just give your opinion based on a lot of factors. And that opinion is not only just, it should be equally fair. And that fair and just opinion brings hope in the eyes of the stakeholders. It brings trust. It brings prosperity. Now, here in the communication audit, when you have submitted your report, now one more thing extra you have to do, and that is called, you have to do the forecasting. That based on today's result, or based on today's process, or based on the audit I did, the report result, what would be the future? What steps may I take in the future? What proactive measures should I take? What corrective measures should I take? What preventive measures should I take? And if I'm not good at that, then how to develop the skills? How to learn? How to upskill myself? And that is why we need to go into all the areas. We need to understand the clear, concise, confident that we should become. We should be a great influencer, either in written form or in spoken messages. And this is how you can add value to your own professional life through the communication audit. So let's talk about some real problems which we might be facing, which we might have faced, or which we might be facing in future. The real problems. So I have just covered 5 points, but yes, it's an inclusive list. If you have got some more problems, you all can add on to your list of the problems of communication, the pain points. The first, overloading with details. And this is seriously a pain. Overloading with details. Imagine you are the speaker or you are the consultant. Your client came, who is a layman, who has not much knowledge of laws, not much knowledge of taxation. He asks for your advice. And you, an amazing expert of the subject, you thought that you should give entire knowledge to the client. You were very compassionate. What you did, you created a PPT, very impressive PPT with all the infographics, with all the charts, with all the data, graphs, fully loaded with amazing information, fully loaded. It was like a cheese burst pizza. Cheese burst pizza you gave the client. But the irony was the client was in dieting process. And the client was not liking the cheese, because that cheese might lead to health issues. Ladies and gentlemen, the same is it happens with us as well. When we overload people in front of us with a lot of information, it is always better to be concise. Client was happy, but the client missed the real messages because he was not that proficient. He was not that knowledgeable to decrypt your entire communication, because it was a 20 slide PPTs, and that too loaded with real datas, real graphs, charts, calculations. For him, it was an alien knowledge. Hence, the client ran away. Hence, the client couldn't connect with us. Second problem, speaking in professional language or jargons. speaking in professional language or jargons. For example, you sent a mail to the client, section 143 subsection 12 of the company that says that the auditing fraud reporting should be done if the fraud is beyond the 1 crore rupees, and for before that you have to consult to the management, and then you have to report to the central government. You quoted the entire section verbatim, and you were happy because you broadcasted the message to all your clients. But my question is, how many of your clients are eligible? How many of your clients are actually that having that interpretation knowledge that they can interpret that section? We tried to showcase our knowledge with the exact use of law, the legal language, and that too verbatim. We used heavy jargons. We used all the sections, subsections, provisos. Even we used the rules, sub-rules, everything. Client was like, oh my God, amazing. And amazing itself is a very dilemmatic answer. Even people are happy, they use amazing. Even if they are confused, they use amazing. So the client, they nod politely, but the reason was that they could not do anything else because they were not aware of what happened. They could not interpret what you said because it was like a legal language, and there was no narration, there was no interpretation, and the languages was for him very difficult to decrypt. Hence, there's a mismatch. There is a mismatch. The client wanted thin crust pizza, and we gave them the double cheese burst pizza, and along with that we overloaded the pizza with all the condiments. We overloaded the pizza with all the props we could do, with all the veggies, with all the olives, with all everything. And the client actually didn't like that. He just wanted a margarita pizza, plain cheese, simple thin crust. Next comes the lack of storytelling. Numbers, they are amazing figures. The numbers, they have their own stories, just like zero. Zero is the number which has the power to change the value of all the numbers. If you don't trust, then multiply your numbers with zero. You could realize that zero has got great power. Every number has a story. Every number has a story. Every punctuation has a story. Every full stop has a story. Every phonetic has a story. The way you share the content, people connect with the stories, not just the numbers. Because when you share the numbers, they need to analyze it. They need to connect in the human language. They need to connect in the human language. And when you want to connect with human language, you need to explain it to someone. You need to make them understand. And storytelling is a beautiful way of making people understand very easily. Even a layman can understand when you have shared the data in story format. And here, story doesn't mean that you have to say, once upon a time there was a king, he fell in love with the queen. That's not story. We are talking about the story through which you can share your business information with your clients. If you are that storyteller, definitely people will come to you. Now comes one of the biggest problems in communication, and that is called, oh man, I know. Don't teach me. I know. Oh, you wanted this one. I'm aware of this. And while doing this, we avoid listening. We avoid listening because we have a lot of perceptions. We have a lot of assumptions. And that is how we always jump to the advice. We always try to advise people. ADVICE. But when you delete AD from advice, it becomes vice. So people might be thinking that the advice you are giving is full of vices, might be malicious, might be malefied. Because if you are not listening to the problem of the client, If you're not listening to the problem the people are going to share with you, and you're just saying, I know, then definitely you are not giving importance to them. You are just self obsessed. And this is what creates the mismatch. The mismatch. There's no syncing, there's no congruence. What the client wants and what we are going to deliver. The client wanted something else, we delivered something else. These are the problems I'm sharing. It's not that we actually do this. These are problems based on some experiences I have noted down. And not possible that everybody might be following these problems. Quite possible somebody like me might be having these problems. But yes, you amazing people, you definitely know how to overcome these problems. So that's why I'm covering these areas, the gray areas. And the last, one size fits all. It means one fit fits all. It is an approach which is a myth. It's not a reality. One fit can't fit all. For every structure or person, you need to customize the clothes. You need to get it tailor made, because the ready made, they have the same fitting for every fit. But when you go to tailors, they usually, so what they do, they take the measuring tape, they calculate or note down all the numbers of your body structure, and then they decide which style you need. And this is based on their experience and your need. And they suggest some that this will look good on you. This is called customization. So when you communicate with different stakeholders, and if you maintain the same methodology, the same process, the same vocabulary, the same style, definitely we are using the ready made structure. And the ready made structure is not loved by everyone. Usually, people, they would love to have the customized stitching. Hence, the people, the stakeholders of your communication, they would also love the customized way of your communication. Either it be the client, either it be your colleagues, either it be the other auditors, like the internal auditors, the secretarial auditor, the legal auditor, the IT auditor, any auditor, even the people inside the organization, either it be the authorities where you are going. And if you ignore anything from the audience's requirement or the need, it is going to become a pain in our life, because they are the one who have got great controlling power. So, ladies and gentlemen, these are the five real problems which I have faced in my life. Again, if you have some more, you can add on. Now comes the solution. That if you are sharing the problem, please do share the solution also. So if you want to overcome the first overloading with details, then the answer is summarize it. Summarize it. You all know in your project reports, I believe the first part is always the executive summary. An executive summary is all the briefings. Even if a layman reads the executive summary, they can understand that what information they might get from the report. It is just like when you author a book, the last page, it tells something about the book, and it decides whether you are going to buy that book or not. Even if there are people who do the critic of the book, when they write their reviews about the book, it is very short and crisp. That is called the executive summary. So, whenever you write something, always try to summarize first so that the people who are joining it later on, they can understand. Second, you all are having great vocabulary, and quite possible someone in my audience might be great polyglots, people who speak multi languages. That's amazing, amazing for me. We should learn languages. There's no harm. And being an Indian, ladies and gentlemen, be proud. We speak minimum 3 languages. We speak minimum 3 languages. Now, here comes one more language in our field, and that is called the legal language. And legal language, it is very tricky. Legal language is very tricky. Imagine in your bare acts, one single full stop, one single comma can change the entire intent of the law. If you replace shall with may, the law will change. So when we use business languages with people of our profession or other professions who are aware of that law, definitely we can use the technical languages. But when you keep interacting with your clients, when you start passing them information, definitely you need to understand that they are the people who will not understand it. You have to make it simple. The client won't understand verbatim. You have to break it. You have to break it into more reliable and understanding information. Third, if we are lacking the art of storytelling, we need to understand that storytelling is that art which is like the oxygen inside the balloon. A balloon doesn't fly because it is a balloon or it is made of rubber or latex. A balloon flies because it has got inside helium. I'm sorry I said oxygen. It is helium. And helium is the power which pushes the balloon. And in our life, in communication, cash flow, you all know cash flow is the oxygen, which is the kind of helium of the balloon. So this oxygen always pushes us to move forward, move forward, move forward. And usually, we try to avoid noticing it a lot. But when that cash is gone, when someone stole it, when we lost it, or when we forgot to collect it from someone, then we realize the importance of that oxygen called cash. Ladies and gentlemen, when you can understand that the power of relatability is very much required, and relatability can be done only through analogies, through metaphors, through anecdotes, through stories. Learn the art of story. In my profession as a trainer, earlier I was not having the art of storytelling. But when I started listening to people, I realized it's an amazing art. I need to understand that I have to put the efforts to learn the art of storytelling. And since last 10 years, when I started adding storytelling to my training programs, instant result I could get. Recently, I had an opportunity to deliver a training program in a company on financial management. And it was for the HODs of that company of the different verticals. It was an amazing experience. My audience, there were approximately 6 people, the different HODs, and thankfully there was one chartered accountant as well who cleared the exam in 2010. When I started sharing the information about the topic financial management, I started right from stories that how we do business, falana dimkhana, and then when I shared my own journey, I could see that chartered accountant, which I was not aware because he didn't share his profession. He just said, I'm from accounts. Then he had a smile on his face because when I started talking about the May and November attempts, that how we used to pass and fail in those attempts, he had a smile on his face. And then he said, Sir, I'm a chartered accountant. If you allow, may I share my experience of the November and May attempts? I said, definitely, sir. And when he started narrating, then it was really a support for me because whatever information I was sharing on financials, he was the only person who could cross check or cross verify whether it was right or wrong. And thankfully, he became one of the greatest support during the entire session. He used to add on whatever concept I shared, he used to add something more. And this increased the validity of the content. The rest of the 5 people, they were mechanical engineers. They were not aware that much, they had not that much proficient financial knowledge or financial literacy. But because of that storytelling style, I could add on the information of finance to their life, to their repository. And after the session, imagine all the people including chart accountant, because although he was an expert, but yes, he said yes, it was a value addition. But the rest of the five people, they were aware to read about ratio analysis. They could read the cash flow statements. Imagine a session of 6 hours. And what changed everything? It was storytelling, because they could easily connect. When I started telling them about balance sheet items, I took along with me the game called Monopoly. So we started playing a Monopoly for 15 minutes. And through that Monopoly and that storytelling, they could understand the balance sheet items. And then through the Monopoly game also, they could understand whether to buy or to rent, whether to skip the opportunity or whether to take that right option. So this is how you can easily pass on your information, your knowledge to others through storytelling. Next was listen carefully or actively, not just through the organs, but through the brain, through the mind, through every organ of your part. And when you listen, give 100% importance to the person with whom you are talking or the other person in front of you. And while interacting, if you are the listener, definitely you will gain a lot of information from your client. He or she will be very much eager to narrate everything they are facing. They will share every detail of the problem. And this will help you in your process of that client's work. You start paraphrasing things, and then you start focusing on the solutions. But if you don't listen to them, they feel offended. They feel rejected and dejected as well. Hence, ladies and gentlemen, listening is very much required. And comes audience mapping. It's a wonderful tool. Audience mapping. You should have a journal, you should have a diary, you should have a sheet through which you can have different sheets for different client of yours. Just what I do it, whenever I meet someone, I put that name in that sheet. I write down that what was the quality I could remember him or her for, and I jot down the date also. I jot down the communication we had also. And this is how, when we connect again with them, if I share the same part that yes, I remember we met that day and we had a discussion on that thing, that person would be very, very, very happy. And when you talk about client, if you do the audience mapping, you'll save a lot of time. You can understand which client requires what, which client has what problem, and what solutions you can suggest to that client. This is called action focused. In terms of your juniors, if you start the mapping them, you can understand the right person for the right task at the right time. And you can save your resources. You can use the art of optimum utilization of resources. And this will help you in cutting the cost and increasing the revenue, your profit. When you talk about regulators, they are not concerned about anything. They just need that in the time frame, you should do everything, whatever is expected by the law. Recently, you all have experienced the unaudited ITR. It was filed, and the last day, I think, was extended just for 1 day. And now we are stuck with just 12 or 11 days of the ITR, which requires audit. It is a compliance process. If the government allows extra time, that's wonderful. But if they will not allow, we have to complete it within the time frame. Because at the end, we are the one who is doing the task. A client will ask us the questions. And also the authorities will ask us what happened. If you complete it in the time frame or the extended time frame, then you will always be happy. But yes, I know we face a lot of problems. Like sometimes the client doesn't provide the documents. Sometimes the client forgets to pass on the your bank statement. The client forgets to pass on the balance sheet, or some journal entry or some vouchers are missing. So you have to understand that you have to map according to the client what their nature is, and you know in a proactive way you can connect with the client in the same way, and your compliance will be fulfilled. So in terms of your audience mapping, or no, sorry, in terms of your regulatory part, keep in mind you have to use the content and the delivery most of the time same. But in terms of your clients, in terms of your juniors, it should keep on changing. Who our stakeholders are? Definitely, we have different stakeholders, the internal, the externals. Internal, we have our partners, our colleagues, our juniors, our staff, our team, our articles, even the janitors or the support staff, the person who gives us water, gives us tea. They all are our internal stakeholders. And when you talk about auditing of your communication, you have to cover these stakeholders for getting information. External, obviously, you have your clients, you have your corporate clients, you have your prospective clients, someone you met in a meeting, you exchange your cards, and you told, you had a small talk, they had a problem, and you told, definitely, I can provide you the solution. I'm in practice for the last 10 years, 20 years, 30 years. So that person has become a prospective client of yours. If you want to do your audit, you need to connect with your clients, the current and the prospective both. Regulatory and governing bodies, definitely hard to reach them for the audit process, but yes, not impossible. Because if you've got a good networking, if you've got a good relationship with them, you can connect with them in a friendly way sometimes. No need to talk about business, but yes, a chit chat. Or the process of the institute called the peer review. It's a wonderful way of your auditing entire things. Even the ICI and the bodies we are connected with, we can use these bodies, these authorities for doing the communication audit of ours with them. Along with that, all the people who are in the management, the people who trust your document or audit report, the people who trust your signed certificates, the bankers, we need to connect with them also. How we communicate with them, what results we get, at what pace we get the result. And is it in our favor usually, or we lack it, we lose the favor from them. This is the way we can understand how we link with these people at management and some authority level. And finally, some lighter moments of our life, the networking, the casual meetups, or the professional CPR meetings, or some meetings where people of different professions we meet, or even the LinkedIn, the social medias we connect with, the seminars, or the industry CII or FICCI forum meetings where we meet, or some community programs where we meet. So all these stakeholders, when you combine them, when you connect with them, when you collate their data, when you collect data from them, when you cross-check, cross-verify, interrelate all the data, then only you can do the communication audit in a proper way. Now, how to do the audit? For that, I have created a checklist of some questions. Because I told you, today's session is not about teaching about communication, rather auditing 4 areas of our skills. And the first is called the communication part. So there are some questions. You have to do your self-rating from 1 to 5. 1 to 5. 1 is lowest, 5 is highest. So do I start my emails reports with clear message of 2, 3 points? It's up to you. It's your life. You know how to do that. But whatever you do, please be true and correct, not fair only. Be true and correct with yourself. Whatever rating you want to give to yourself, it should justify. No need to please. Second, do I avoid jargon and explain laws or regulations in plain English or any other language you use according to the other person in front of you? Do my presentations focus on insights and actions, not just raw numbers? Because if you're just preaching, it is of no use. But yes, if people are using your information, if people are using your insights and they're taking action, then it is required, then it is of use, and then it is valuable. Do I adapt my communication style for different audiences? I don't know. But yes, I do. I always customize my way of communication according to my audience, according to the situation, and according to the platform I'll be using. Do I listen actively and confirm understanding before advising? I don't know. But yes, there is a shlok, it says in Brihat Aranyak Upanishad, a shlok says, Tasmat Brahmanam Pandityam Narvidyan Balyam Tishthaset. Let a person renounce learning and become a child. Let a person renounce learning and become a child. It says, it is known to those who do not know and unknown to those who knows. So, where do you stand from 1 to 5? Do clients and team members often thank me for making things simple? And as Steve Jobs told once, simplicity is the best sophistication. Simplicity is the best sophistication, but it doesn't mean that you need to follow it always. It's your choice. Now comes the result of the audit, ladies and gentlemen. And the best part about this audit is you will get the result within minutes, very promptly, and that to be accurate. If you have scored or numbered yourself or marked yourself in the range of 24 to 30, then that's wonderful. You indeed are a wonderful communicator. You indeed are being liked by a lot of people around you. You indeed are being trusted by your stakeholders. You indeed are a great reader. You indeed are a great learner. You indeed are a person who believes in upskilling and upscaling self. Excellent person you are. Wonderful. But if we are falling in the 16 to 23, then definitely it's a good thing, but not that good. We are average. We need areas to find out what are the lacunae, what are the loopholes, where are the leakages. Now, this report, if you see the second report, the first is unqualified report, the second is qualified report. It is qualified report where we need to understand that if you change something while talking to, first as you follow the process, the person with I think TWC, the person charged with management, I think, or governance, the person charged with governance. So in this scenario, the person charged with governance is you yourself. You have to answer to the qualifications raised by the auditor, and the irony is the auditor is also you. So you have to question yourself. And here comes introspection. Introspection, you have to understand that where the lacuna, the weakness is, the area of improvement is. And if you got that, please start improving it. Start improving the day, the moment you get the area, same moment, start improving it. But if we fall under the 15, ladies and gentlemen, this is a red zone. D-Day, 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 or Mayday, not D-Day, Mayday, Mayday, Mayday. The flight is about to crash. The flight is about to crash, but still there's a hope. If you are aware how to take care of that flight, if you know how to overcome the crash landing or prevent the crash landing, if you know how to do a rough landing, now you can learn how to rebound. At least you are saved. But if you ignore this, the only result is deadly crash landing, directly colliding from the ground and in flames. And in flames. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a red zone. It's a red signal. It tells you, stop, stop, do something, or else God bless you. So let's foray into the other parts of our session today. But before that, you all know that audit report, if it is clean, It means definitely you have followed all the qualities of auditor, right from integrity to your judgment to everything you have followed. And it builds trust, and it brings clarity to the people who are going to use that audit report. And definitely, the people who are going to use it, they might not remember what provisions you applied to save them, what provisions you applied, or what assumptions you applied to come to that no opinion. But yes, they will always remember that the audit report you created, it was chronological, it was focused on the solution, it was highlighted, and everything was clear and crystal clear. They will remember your clarity. Ladies and gentlemen, use the report of the communication audit you did right now and find out the areas where we can upskill, where we can upgrade ourselves. Today, you are amazing. Tomorrow, you will become awesome. Today, you are amazing. Tomorrow, you'll become awesome. And awesomeness is a wonderful feeling, ladies and gentlemen. Sometimes, if you are with the people you love and they're around you and they all are listening to you, it means you have done, you have created the trust with them. You have done something to add value to their life. Be the cynosure of someone's life, be the cynosure of someone's trust, be the cynosure of someone's faith in you. And it can be done through the proper communication process. But before that, do audit yourself. Now comes adaptability and problem solving. It's a 21st century skill. It's a 21st century skill, and a lot many people are talking on this. Lot many seminars are being conducted, workshops being conducted, lot many articles being written on this topic. Lot many speakers are speaking on this topic. Lot many books are coming on this topic, and most of the businesses, they are talking about, they are doing something to use these skills, to add these skills in their employees, because the people who are using these skills, they know the outcome. It's just like the concept of value chain analysis. No, value chain analysis, where you add on value to both the primary and the secondary activities. And the end result is your margin increases. Your margin increases. Adaptability and problem solving, these are the traits which are really invisible. Actually, they're invisible. You cannot understand how you adapted. Nobody can understand what was the moment when you adapted. Nobody can understand what was the moment when the solution clicked your mind. Communication, quite possible, it might be visible through your writings, but adaptability and problem solving, not possible, because it is momentary. Momentary. But yes, that moment comes after a lot of moments of experiences, lot of moments of patience, lot of moments of resilience. Then only you can adapt, and then only you can focus on the problem solving attitude. One of the best organizations which focuses on solution oriented approach are the Indian Defense Forces. The Indian Defense Forces, Indian Army, Navy, Air Force, because they are the people who have been taught from the day one that problems will come every time, because you are in forge. You will be facing a lot of problems. Rather, you will be flooded with problems. But always keep in mind, focus on the solutions. Find out the solutions. Find out the solutions. And if you could find out the solutions, you can save your team, you can save your country, and you can save yourself. But there are a lot of amazing people, a lot of amazing people whose life funda is bani raho pagla kaam kare agla. It means always behave like a crazy so that other people will think that you are crazy and they will all work on your behalf. These are the people who always believe in short term gains by just making people feel that we are fool. They have the expertise, give them 100 solutions, but their expertise is they can bring one problem even out of 100 solutions. They will say, it's good, but what if? So that is not adaptability, that is not problem solving, that is called creating chaos. The entire environment of finance, of the legalities, the regulations, it is actually in a flux. And the technology, which is every day keeping on changing. Yesterday evening, the MEITY minister, Mr. Vaishnav, he announced that government has, I think, infused funds in the AI sector, and they are going to create. I'm missing the name, but yes, I heard that they are going to create AI labs across India, so that even the person at the last point could take the benefit for their upgradation. Technology is changing. Today, you have a lot of generative AIs, and people are within seconds getting their answers. So, with these things around you are changing, and people around you, their expectations are also changing. Rather, it is rising. And we are professionals. We cannot rely on a static way because we know the business environment is totally dynamic. It is totally dynamic. We have pestly political, economical, social, technological, legal, environmental factors. And then we have to find out the effectiveness, how we change, how we shift. Because we have a lot of obstacles today. We need to find out the resources through which we can navigate them. We have to take decisions. And for that, we have to understand that we need solutions. And even if you have solutions, we need to understand that under the pressure, can we deliver the solutions? All these scenarios today are an area of grave concern for us. Really, an area of grave concern for us. And that is why, ladies and gentlemen, the problems we are facing in adaptability and problem solving, the first, ever changing regulatory changes, ever changing. Just a kind of example, the portals, the regulatory portals, either be the income tax or the MCA, the forms, sometimes they are not released on time. Sometimes if they're released on time, then some features of that portal or that form didn't work. And we are stuck because we have responsibilities, because we are accountable, because the entire society believes that we'll file on time. And it creates a lot of confusion. Also, the problem of social media, because recently the income tax return date, which we just finished, on social media, some handles they started circulating some images of the income tax department saying that this government has accepted that they will increase the timeline to September 31st. But finally, the income tax department came with clarification that no, it's a misleading information. But yes, the clients, they might not be aware of it. They might be having arguments with us that you are lying. So regulatory changes, really, they are creating chaos. Technology resistance. We want to change, but technology is very costly. We cannot change like by a magic wand within a night. We cannot change it. We need resources, financial resources to change to that technology. And not every technology is good for us. But yes, sometimes, even if we have the resource, sometimes, even if we know that it is required, but we are resistant. No, I don't want to change. I will follow the same old way, the traditional way. That's wonderful. That's indeed wonderful. But the rule of law, the rule of business, if you are not changing in technology, we will be obsolete. And the best example I would like to quote is Nokia Mobile, whose tagline was connecting people, but they got disconnected. But because technologically they were very resistant to change, to shift to the smart mobile technology. They believe that they will rule the QWERTY pad mobile system, but the QWERTY pad is gone today. Then comes client crisis situation. Sometimes we have some crisis, and most of the time the client has crisis. And every crisis, the client not only believes, but they have a faith. I don't know from where, but yes, they have a faith that the chartered accountant would be present there to take them out of that crisis. It is really not possible for us to be present everywhere for every client. They might be having crisis, but yes, we cannot be present on real time basis. But still, we need to give them solutions. We need to give them solutions. And before solution, we need to give them sympathy. Then comes some people around us, some people in our very close proximity. And they are the people who are our beautiful partners, amazing, knowledgeable partners. They're very rigid people, very rigid people. We actually sometimes feel that it is impossible to work with them. But yes, we need them. They need us. This is what partnership is. We cannot be kicked out or we cannot kick someone out. We need people of different mentality, of different stature. And that's why we need to understand the patterns, how they work. And if they're not changing, no issues. You have to change. You have to adapt. Not your entire personality, but at least for that particular person, you have to understand what their way of working is. And if that person is senior at you have to adapt. You have to adapt. You have no choice. And again, here, one size fits all approach. Because I faced a problem in my past and I am facing the problem same again. And I thought what solution I applied in my past will be applicable today as well. But we forget that the environment is ever evolving, ever changing. Everything is changing. And if everything is changing, then the solution would also change. I'm not saying that the entire solution will not work, but at least the environment has changed. It means the solution or the resources you have right now, they might not be appropriate in that situation. In this scenario also, we need to understand one fit doesn't fit all. And these are some solutions we can apply in our audit of the adaptiveness and problem solving. The first, regulatory agility. We need to be agile. We need to understand if we need to provide solutions, then we need to be very updated. We need to be very in agility. We have to be in momentum, at par. And for that, we need to upgrade our knowledge resources. And the best, we have a lot of magazines. We have our own journals. We have different subscriptions through which we can upgrade our knowledge base. Because at the end, the knowledge is the thing which will provide a solution. Because if you are aware of something, then only you can find out the way out. If you don't know something, then Solomon versus Solomon says, ignorance of law is not an excuse, it's a crime. We need to understand that we are chartered accountants and we need to be updated. We need to have the knowledge. We have to use the change to action framework. We have to interpret. We have to create client actions. We have to understand that what they need. We have to take actions. We have to build. Because regulatory, if you are not updated, you don't know what actions we need to take. And in this scenario, let me share a very pain area. I was talking to some students and I asked them about the GST credit, input credit. I'm not aware of those things. So I asked their guidance. They were amazing people. What they did, they suddenly went to ChatGPT. And they asked ChatGPT about the provisions of credit input of GST. And the answer they got was devastating. I don't know whether it's right or wrong, but the ChatGPT told section 32 or 33 of GST Act something. When I cross-checked, it was a wrong provision. So this was not the action we need. Rather, it maligns our credibility. And when you have a lot of research, when you go deep in the topic, you create some write-ups on your own, or you read someone else's write-ups. And this is how you create a repository of knowledge. It is just like the books we have in our libraries. Sometimes we take the Bare Act, sometimes we take the commentaries, sometimes we take the ready reckoners. And these books can be used by only those who know for that problem which book is required. Because if you need instant solution, then you cannot use the Bare Act. You need to use ready reckoner. But if you are going to speak on a topic, then you need to understand about the commentaries done on that particular section. And that too holistic, both sides. So we can become, in terms of regulatory part, we can be very agile through these methods. Second is technology adoption. And there are a lot of things, a lot of ways through which we can adopt technology. Our institute has their own CAGPT, and every organization who are into your business or your profession, they have their own investment of AI tools or their own ERP system, and lot many things we have today. If you have invested in those technologies, that's wonderful. Thanks to you all, because you are going to change the life of your juniors and the articles who would be joining your organization. If you have that knowledge, be a wonderful teacher. Pass on to the coming generation, be the torch bearer. And this is how you can understand that when you implement the technology, although sometimes the initial investment is high, but the return is marvelous. Because if everybody is sync, all the people in organization are synced together because of the technology, now your time will be saved, your opportunity cost will reduce, and it will be showcased in your margins. And if you have extra margin, then take your team to some like celebration things. They will love it, and this is how they will connect more with you. And sometimes this situation, this also leads to the solution of crisis. Because when you start talking to people, when you sometimes start listening to people, when you stay calm and you think on paper, then you start coming close to the root cause. And the root cause is just like the fish bone. The head of the fish is the effect, and the bones, they are the causes. And there are a lot of causes, and we need to zero in on one particular cause, which is the biggest cause because of which we are facing the crisis. And when you are aware of the cause, then only you can recommend the actions you need to take to avoid the crisis. And for that, we need to have some the SOPs. We need to have the checklist. We need to have some system where everybody would be following the same system. And this is how we all can avoid crisis. Next, flexible thinking. We need to understand the generations every 20 years, they change. Their way of thinking, their way of speaking, their way of behaving, everything changes. And if we are not flexible, then definitely we will face the problem. We'll feel a bit like the new generation insulted me, although it was not their intention. So when you think about different things in different ways, then you can understand that you need to use the holistic approach. You need to use the 360-degree analysis. And as strategic management says, you should have alternatives so that you can choose the best alternatives. But for that, we need to find out what are the alternatives. We need to find out the worst case scenarios, Murphy's Law. And then only we can have the alternatives. And then out of the alternative, do the calculation and find out and choose the best solution. Implement it, that's it. And when you are having in your people in your office, try to do the brainstorming. Learn the art of devil's advocacy. Learn the art of devil's advocacy, because devil's advocacy is a wonderful tool for flexible thinking. Because devil advocate focuses on the areas which are dark areas, which nobody wants to talk about. Usually they try to put curtain on it. But the devil advocate has that courage that they will talk about all the areas assertively. And if you have someone in your office who is the devil's advocate, and but keep in mind, devil's advocate doesn't mean that you should be rude. Not rude, in a courteous way, in a considerate way. You should put your points and with graceness, with graceness. If you have someone in your organization who is this devil's advocate, reward them because they are the one who will take you to the solution. And always have a system in your organization. Any person who has got ideas, we will discuss on those ideas, and the best idea every month will be rewarded. And this is how, ladies and gentlemen, you'll be creating alternative strategies. Alternative strategies. Use the concept of top to bottom approach and bottom to top approach of idea flowing, because this will lead to the creation of this system of flexible thinking in your organization. And the last, continuous learning mindset. Amitabh Bachchan says, सीखना बंद तो जीतना बंद. सीखना बंद तो जीतना. It means if you stop learning, you will definitely not win. The day you stop learning, be ready to lose. Be ready to lose. Because every day you have to learn something. You have to learn something. You have to learn something. And if you believe you know everything, God bless you. God bless you, because God will ask, come to me. And hence, be a child. Tasmat Brahmanam Pandityam Narvidyan Balin Tisthasya. And there's one more shlok, it says, Swabhavanupadeshana sakyate kritam manyatha sataptapi paniyam punah gachati shitata. The human nature and the nature of water are same, are alike. You know, you give upadesh to a person or you preach someone, definitely at that moment they will be very highly motivated. Just like the water which you boiled right now, it is having a lot of heat, no, very motivated, boiling hot. But the same water, if you keep aside for 1 hour, it will cool down. Punaha gachati shitata. And the same is with human nature. Right now, if I am speaking something, there might be someone who is quite highly motivated, but as time passes without any action, punah gachati shitata. But the people who actually believe in upskilling themselves, they take actions. They take actions. They don't procrastinate. And rightly said, procrastination is the thief of time. Procrastination is the thief of time. And if you want to learn how to overcome procrastination, there's a wonderful book called Eat That Frog. Eat That Frog by Brian Tracy. Do use it. It has got wonderful techniques to learn how to overcome the procrastination, or else you can use the Pomodoro effect. The Pomodoro effect. It's a wonderful technique, tool to add the time management. So when you start reading, when you start upgrading, you will feel happy, because the more you know, the more you need. And knowledge is an addiction. Knowledge seriously is an addiction. And the euphoria of the knowledge is forever. Forever. And life has taught me, ladies and gentlemen, life has taught me, knowledge is an orphan. Not everyone can adopt it. Knowledge is an orphan. Not everyone can adopt it. But those who adopt, they know it is not easy to take care of that child. The child, which is called knowledge, is very, very, very energetic, but notorious as well. That child you cannot handle. You have to understand how to keep that child, how to always keep it engaged. Hence, knowledge, not everyone can adopt. Yes, but everyone can buy education. Everyone can buy education. Today, what I'm talking about continuous learning is not buying education, but adopting the child called knowledge, which is very notorious. And for that, there are a lot of tools. There are a lot of tools. Some they require subscriptions, and some they are free mode. You can have your own ICI help. You can have your peer groups. You can have your CPRs where you can speak, where you can connect, where you can upgrade. You have the forums. And thanks to all the members, all the officials, all the people who are behind the screen, PSEC, Professional Skills Enrichment Committee. Thanks to everyone, right from the chairman, vice chairman, everyone, the secretary, director, the people who are making these programs successful, to our moderator today as well. And yes, you all people who are all are listening to me, who all are watching me. Ladies and gentlemen, this is a tool, the PSEC committee, this is a tool which is helping you upgrade yourself. And the certification course they have been running, the fourth one, I believe they just completed. The soft skills enrichment course certificate. It was a wonderful certification course. And like this, they have a lot of things. And this is just one committee of ICI. We have more committees. Connect with them. Also, use LinkedIn and some other tools for your professional growth. You can connect with people. I just recall sometimes ago, I posted something, and the first like I got was from a vice president from HSBC Bank. I have not met him, but yes, the algorithm, what I wrote, the algorithm rhythm got connected me with that person. And along with that, there are a lot of people I got connected. So LinkedIn has given me a lot of impetus in my professional life. A lot of people, they connect with me. I get my clients from LinkedIn. I don't solicit, but yes, I get my clients because I give them solutions. And when they like the solution, they use the solution, they realized, we can use the service of this person, this professional for the next year as well. And this is creating trust, building trust between you and the person who met you online as well. So, third, reflect after every major challenge what worked, what didn't, and what will I do differently. For example, if you see on the screen, the header, there is a typing error. There is a typing error. Solutions. So, no. I think there's no typing error. I'm so sorry. I missed it. So the screen, let me see that there are two O's. There's no typing error. I'm so sorry. So what I thought, if there's a typing error, it might be a challenge for me. And if that had been a typing error, I have to understand that how I missed it. And then at the end of the session, when I'm closing the session, I have to tell my audience that how I missed it, because this is an audit. Thank God there's no typing error. I have to understand after the session that how come even after cross-checking my content, I missed out. How come I ignored the typing error? And now next time, what will I do to cross-check myself that there is no mistake in the PPTs? There is no mistake in the PPTs. So what worked out, what didn't, and what will I do differently in future? So this is the clear learning methodology, the learning mindset we need to use in our professional setup. Now comes the audit part. Let's do audit of your adaptability and problem solving. And for that, the checklist, ladies and gentlemen, is in front of you all. First question, I stay updated with new tax, GST, and compliance and other laws as well. I just use the tax and GST. But yes, if you're practicing in other laws, you can use other laws also. So are you updated always? Second, I can quickly convert complex rules into simpler client actions. And you know what? The human brain is such an amazing tool. It remembers the images. It remembers the images with clarity. And if you could provide infographics to your client, if you could break out the entire problem, huge paragraphs into small infographics, client would be ready to take action on that. It is just like if you give journal entry to the CFO won't like it because the journal entries are not important for the CFO. It is important at the initial levels for inputting the transactions. But if you give the CFO the balance sheet, P&L, and the cash flow, then and along with the ratios, the CFO will take decisions. So how simple you make the data, how much simplified you present it, it matters a lot, and it takes time. Seriously, it takes time. Not everyone was born with that aptitude or with that quality. We all learn. Even I remember that when I started, I had no knowledge of English language. Seriously, I had no knowledge of English language. But yes, I started learning it on my own. I started recording myself. Can you imagine? You're going to laugh on me. There was a time when I used to say in English, my teacher didn't teach me. My teacher didn't teach me. I had no knowledge about the grammar. But yes, someone in my life gave me a table, a chart, through which the grammar part of English was very simplified. I go, you go, they go. I have been going since morning. They have been going since morning. This is a methodology through which we learn all the tenses. It was wonderful with rhymes. I learned it. And today, I know a bit of English. I know a bit of English. At least I can take sessions in this language. So, are you the one who simplifies things? Third, I remain calm and solution focused during sudden regulatory changes. Yeah, very difficult, seriously, very difficult. But you have no option. When we have no option, smile. Smile. And this smile will not be fake if you have in advance or proactively created a system, a block of people, resources, whose only task or whose duty is to analyze any changes. If this is happening, it is their duty to analyze those changes and to provide the simplest analytical review of those changes to you. If you have these resources, you don't need to like cry like a baby. Rather, you'll be saying, no issues. I'm ready for it. I have people, I have backup in my office. They will definitely bring the simplified version of what happened so that I can use it. Or else, if you don't have that resources, you are a person who is very resilient, who has understood the art of interpretation, who has given his or her life to the law analysis or the financial analysis or the regulatory changes. You know what will happen. And you know how to do the interlinking between the earlier and the amended. If you have that caliber, you don't need to worry. You don't need to worry. Next, I adopt new accounting, ERP, or automation tools without resistance. It's your choice. It's your money. It's your resources. It's your life. If you adapt, that's good. If you don't adapt, it's your choice. It's your choice. And in today's world, technology is supreme. Now, technology is supreme. You have to understand that the technology is the thing which will like give you competitive advantage. So it's your choice. I encourage my team, my colleagues to use smarter tech-driven methods. Again, it depends on your financial condition or on your choices, that how much you want to invest or the resources you have or you want to have. It's your choice, totally your choice. But if people inside your organization are upgraded, they are in sync with the technology, the ever changing world, definitely they would be more effective. More effective. Again, it's your call. I actively explore technology to save time and reduce errors. I ask a very amazing question to my audience. How many of you know how to use ChatGPT? Majority they say, yes, I know. Then I give them a problem. And the solution they get, for example, I ask them that create a project report. And the project report they provide, I ask them, can you submit this project report to authorities or bankers or VCs or angel investors? They say no. Well, then what is the use of using the GPT over here? Then I ask them, how many of you know how to write prompts? Because the main thing is writing prompts. So if you know how to write prompts, you'll get the solution. I actively explore technologies to save time and errors. So if you have a collection of prompts, definitely your time will be saved. Your margin will increase. I respond to client crisis with practical solutions. Again, it's your world. The crisis, the quantum of the crisis, the problem size, it depends on who your client is. It depends the quantum of business you conduct with them. It depends on the relationship you have with your client. But yes, if there's a client, you have to give them priority. I evaluate multiple options before suggesting a solution. I focus on actionable solutions instead of dwelling on blame. It's a human nature. I adapt my communication style depending on the stakeholder. Again, one fit doesn't fit all. I willingly replace old methods when better ones exist. This is called adaptability. This is called being proactive. I see unexpected changes as opportunities for growth, not threats. And if there are challenges, there would be a lot of opportunities as well. If there are challenges, there would be opportunities. You need to see through a different lens. I reflect on past problem solving cases to improve future responses. This is called historical trend analysis. Based on the historical problem solving methodologies, what actions you will take in future and what changes you will make in the current situation, what your responses would be. I seek feedback from clients and peers on how I handle challenges. I don't know how many of you do this, but yes, we cannot seek from everyone. But yes, the close people whom we trust, at least the people around you in your proximity, you can connect with them. And they will tell you that this is the real scenario, this is the reality, this is a true feedback. And accordingly, make changes, control, and then again start identifying where to grow. I document and share solutions to build team learning. Now, if you have paid some fees for a course, and if your no, human resources, if your employees, if your staff, they are not showing the result, then what was the return of the investment you did in terms of training? It was just a waste of time and waste of resources. If you are conducting something, if you're investing something on someone, you should understand that you need to find out, you need to measure, you need to calculate the return as well. And if there's no return, then you need to take preventive measures that in next, I'll have to change the methodology, I have to change the trainer, I have to change the resource. So this is a kind of your audit. If you are into 60 or 70 points, you are a person who can adapt in any situation. You are the person who knows that there is a solution. I will find it. I will definitely find it. If you are into the 50, 45 to 59, you are adaptive, but sometimes we doubt. Sometimes we fall in dilemmas. Sometimes we take time to make decisions. We are not that much fine tuned, but yes, we are heading towards the highly adaptable strategies in our life. If we are in the 30 to 44 area, rigid, we don't want to change. We don't want to change. We are afraid of change. But yes, quite possible there are some percentage inside us which will tell that we have to change. We have to change. It is just like the passive communicator, just like the passive communicator who knows they have to change. That is called rigid. And finally, if we are below 30, I don't want to change. I don't want to change. Come on. I'm happy with what I have. I'm happy with what I am. I'm proud of myself. I don't want to change. If the client is coming to me, let the client change. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a red alarm. It's a red siren. We need to do something. And this is how our audit of adaptability and problem solving is done. Comes here the bridge which connects all the topics what we are doing covering today, all the audit areas, the emotional intelligence audit. Emotional intelligence. We are humans. We are humans. We have numerous of cells in our bodies. We have a lot of organs inside us. We have the brain, which has infinite neurons inside it. We don't know how the emotions are born. We don't know how it works, but yes, accept it. We have emotions. We have emotion. Sometimes when we see some recognizable face, or sometimes when we see someone we love to meet, we have a smile on our face. When sometimes we meet someone we are actually not eager to meet, we have that snobbish no expression on our face. Sometimes we wink, sometimes we smile, sometimes we have the twinkle in the eyes. Sometimes we just stay calm and just smile. Sometimes we restrict our body language. We show that we are not interested. All this happens because the emotions inside us, they are just like the tidal waves. Up, down, topsy-turvy, topsy-turvy. Our technical brilliance, the knowledge we have of the profession, it will not change. Definitely not change. But the emotions, it will change everything, because it will change the intensity of the tone, because it will change the choice of the vocabulary, because it will change the voice crackling inside the throat, because it will change your entire personality. And people, they judge you from outside first. They judge you from outside first. How you react, how you behave, how you speak, and then only they can understand your technical brilliance. But if the outside personality is not that effective, because your emotions overpowered you, or because you miscalculated your emotions, or because you did a wrong self-awareness analysis, or you did a wrong social awareness analysis, or you could not create the relationship between you and others, and then the people around you, they will never have the trust factor with us. We will lose the client. We will definitely lose the client. The problems we face in emotional intelligence, it is usually situational. Recently, the September month, we all faced it, and soon we're going to face it again. Soon we're going to face it again. The deadline stress, and then the burnout. We overexhaust ourselves. Either you are in job, employment, or you are in practice. You know the pain of these months. I saw some videos, I saw some pictures where the professional chartered accountants, they were sleeping in their offices because they had to file all the returns. And the site was not working. And it was increasing our stress because the deadline was coming near. So we burned out ourselves. Then we had the client conflicts. We requested them, please send the documents. They said, yes, they're sending. And they procrastinated. And today is the deadline. And they started fighting with us that it is your problem. You are a chartered accountant. You have to tell me that what you need. Now you can't fight with them. It's a conflict. Then we have the team. We have the team, but mismanaged, where everybody is blaming others because the situation changes everything. Everybody is blaming because of you. No, the challan could not be paid. Because of you, the return could not be filed. Because of you, the client, used wrong language with me. And then some areas, the blind spots, where we usually could not see. We could not see the emotions because of which people around us are not comfortable. That is the area which is beyond our scope. We are not able to see that. Now, how to find the solutions? First, if you have deadline stress and burnout, so we conducted a program for ICI, and it was called Burn Right and Burn Bright. Burn right and burn bright. So use the techniques. There are a lot of techniques, and the simplest is diaphragmatic breathing. Start breathing slowly and calculate it. Bring it down to 10, 11, 12 breaths per minute. That's it. You'll be more relaxed. would be more relaxed. Then don't micromanage everything. You are not a manager. You are a person who is running a huge empire. Delegate it and enjoy your life. And then always have extra time. If you have completed something before the timeline, then use that buffer time for other things. Client conflicts, listen to them. Listen to them. Just like a doctor. When you go to a doctor, the doctor listens to you and scribbling. Start scribbling. We feel good. And then prescribe them the medicine based on the symptoms. And everything should be documented. SA230 should be documented. If happens any conflict, show them. But yes, in a very respectable manner. Team management, nothing. Just stop blaming and start coaching. Stop blaming and start coaching. Always focus on the learning part rather than the blaming part. Don't correct people in public. Always criticize in private and compliment in public. Criticize in private, compliment in public. And always create a feedback culture in your organization so that everybody gives true feedback, not the malified or full of vices. Emotional blind spots, use the feedback system of 360-degree analysis from the different stakeholders, your clients, your peers, your juniors, somebody who is in your proximity. Use the journaling part, because in the skills enrichment certification course, I use this share this technique of journaling. So your gratitude journal and the one win I won today journal. One win I won today journal. And then if you feel sometimes that you have the urge of replying someone, stop. Don't reply. Keep silent, because ladies and gentlemen, silence is a luxury today. And here comes the auditing of your emotional intelligence. So these are some questions. Number them from 1 to 5. Don't try to please yourself. Be true and correct towards yourself, not only true and fair. I stay calm under pressure during deadlines. I avoid venting frustration on clients and colleagues. I bounce back quickly after setbacks. I try to understand clients' perspective before advising. I recognize the emotions of my juniors, my colleagues. I handle conflicts with empathy and facts instead of aggression. All these factors, you know what? They are showcasing the areas of the emotional intelligence. Ajay, those who love to read, I suggest one book on emotional intelligence by Daniel Goleman, and the name of the book is Emotional Intelligence. It's a wonderful book. Daniel Goleman is an authority on the field in the field of emotional intelligence. Do read it. It has got a lot of solutions. It has got a lot of analysis as well. And if something you can use, that is wonderful investment on yourself. Next, questions. I give feedback constructively without demoralizing. We are here to give feedback, not criticize people. Feedback should be positive so that we can get a result out of it, so that we can improve out of it. Okay. I publicly appreciate effort and correct mistakes privately. I mentor juniors to grow rather than just assign tasks. You are a torch bearer and you are a leader. And the best leader is the one who always believes in creating new leaders. Because today you are the leader, tomorrow you need someone else who can lead on your behalf. And this is how the torch of leadership should pass on like a marathon baton. If you want to win, you have to pass on the baton to the next player. Life is not a 100-meter race, not at all. It's a marathon. Life, along with marathon, is a relay race. Because in relay race, the real baton you pass on to the other members. I'm so sorry, I was mistaken when I quoted marathon. Life is actually a relay race where you pass the baton to the next player, not marathon. I'm really sorry, I was mistaken. I apologize in public. So in marathon, relay race, if you want to win the race, you have to pass the baton to the next player. If you miss it, the entire team loses. So you have to understand, you have to pass on. I reflect on my behavior after difficult conversations. I'm open to feedback from peers, clients, and team. I can recognize when I am stressed and take steps to manage it. And this can be possible only when you journal, when you write. when you map yourself, there's a beautiful book of mind mapping written by Tony Bazan. Do find out, you'll get a lot of books on mind mapping, but the best author is Tony Bazan. He has written wonderful write-ups on how to use mind map for your personal development, for your business development. So start journaling your life. And when you start journaling your life, you can check out that what is the audit report of my emotional intelligence. And this is the audit report. If you're falling between 45 to 55, you are an emotional intelligent leader. People trust you, you have resilience, you have empathy inside you, and you connect with people, without any vices. 35 to 44, you are moderately strong in EI, but yes, needs to polish some areas, 25 to 34, you are emotionally reactive, not proactive. You want, but sometimes you're stuck in reacting or replying to people because you have that urge that I will take revenge. Ladies and gentlemen, today, silence is a luxury which not everyone can enjoy. Finally, below 25, then you have a lot of blind spots in your life. You need to urgently take care of your EI, because today EI is actually recognized everywhere. So let's move on to the last area of audit, and that is called the professional presence and networking audit. As I told you in the beginning, that if you want to do gargantuan tasks, if you want to do mammoth or big tasks, you need people. You need people. In Hindi, there's a saying, "Akela chana bhad nahi phod sakta." It means alone, you can't do everything. Uh, just a minute. Okay. Sorry, there was a chat over here. That's why I had to check. So, professional presence and networking audit. We are a group of people, who comes in the 5% category of the Indian population. 5% category of the Indian population. We are a group of people who's being regulated by a body which is called the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. We have our presence across the globe as well. We are being respected by different people, by different stakeholders. Sometimes someone questions us as well, but there's the part of responsibility and accountability. There are people who trust us. There are some people who sometimes doubt us. They're the people who actually are dependent on our intelligence. And there are some people who are focusing and who are believing in the intelligence of the Google, but the end, they do come to us because the intelligence of the Google they did on their own, and they have created chaos in their files. And now they seek our help to overcome that problem. So we have variety of people in our life. And all these people, they are a node. They are a node of the network we have created. And if they are a node of the network we have created, keep in mind, we are also a small node of someone's network they have created. So it's a give and take, not only take. You have to give and then you have to take. So it's a trial balance which has to match, not a single entry. And if you have some opportunities, you have to provide it to your network. If your network has some opportunities, they'll provide it to you. This is how we grow. Sabka saath or sabka vikas. That is the power of group of people. But the problem is that if we don't follow the methodologies, if we don't follow the technology, definitely we'll be having low visibility. ICI, let's suppose they conduct a lot of programs, but we don't attend it. We don't attend it. If you are not attending, then definitely nobody would be knowing who you are. But the moment you step inside the room and you spread the smile, people they connect with you. You share the business card with a pride on your face. And people they do the same. And this is how you shake the hands, you nod your head, you talk on some topics, and your visibility increases. And the same is on online mode. The ICI has their own code of conduct for the social media. Do follow it, stay in that boundary, but yes, we can use it for our visibility. At least you can upgrade your audience who follow you about the changes or the knowledge you have or some particular areas you believe that the audience must be aware. This is how you increase your visibility. Try to provide some solutions online. Try to provide some solutions online so that some person or someone who is seeking the solution, if they use it, they will always be indebted to you, and quite possibly in the future they can become your clients as well. So this is how you increase your low visibility. But there are a lot of people who don't want to be visible. Outdated professional image, change is very much required. We just discussed adaptability. There are a lot of people who don't want to change. I'm the way I am, I don't want to change. Weak networking habits. I've seen a lot of people, they just do one thing when they meet, fatafat, they share, hi, my business card, khatam. That's it. But business card, I believe, should not be shared at the first moment. The first moment, you should have a smile, you should have a handshake, you should have discussion, and then let the curiosity approach start, and then exchange the card. This is how people will value your business card. Otherwise, you know where it goes. The last, over reliance on traditional networks. Things are changing. All the big MNCs, all the big business hubs, even they know the power of the new networks. They know the power of new networks. And they are investing huge money in creating new networks. Then we are a part of that. We have to understand that the ever evolving process of network, the technology is changing. We have to change according to that. So, what is the solution? If you have low visibility, speak at different forums, connect with your professional bodies, connect with people through the webinars, just like now. I'm connected to a lot of people right now. Although I can't see, but yes, we can connect. We have the vibes. Get yourself published on different platforms. I had the opportunity that January 2025, I got the opportunity to get my article published in the ICI journal. It was a wonderful experience for me. I uploaded on LinkedIn. Thanks to ICI that they gave me opportunity. You can have your optimized LinkedIn profile. Use the prompt writing on ChatGPT and create a wonderful profile of yours. If you have outdated professional image, then go for some grooming processes. Go for some color combinations. And the person who is in your house, whom you trust, ask them what is the current trend going on. I'm not saying that we should become a fashion designer or we should become a hero or a model, but yes, the right way dressed at the right situation, it will always bring a lot of opportunities because people they judge you seriously, and it's not bad. We are humans, and when you feel look good, you feel good. Your body language, try to change. Even in the online mode, I'm trying to focus on my body language. I'm not making it dull. I'm using a spine straight posture, and that's why voice of mine is a bit different. But if I'm slouching, it will totally change. Use simple client-friendly language instead of jargons. Don't use very technical language with your clients or the strangers. Simple layman language, they will connect with you. If we have weak networking habits, then follow the give first principle. Give them something. Give them something which will add value to their life. And then they will connect with you. Attend events of your organization or the sister bodies or the business houses meetings or the government aided meetings. Anything is happening around you, go attend it, invest in it, and then connect with people one to one. Personal touch is amazing. Try to be a mentor to someone and try to find a mentor for yourself. Refer someone and be referred. Collaborate with people. You can have a wonderful business. Comes then, if you have over reliance on traditional networks, then try to leverage. It will help you. What? The digital presence. not digital marketing, but the digital presence. Because if you are writing something on LinkedIn about the professional knowledge, if you are sharing something on the webinars about some professional information, if you are sharing something on the podcast about something related to the profession, there might be someone who is going to use your information. It's a wonderful way of compassion. You're going to help someone. And helping is a wonderful experience. And you did a wonderful task, holy task, and people started connecting with you, Whatever presence I have on LinkedIn, majority presence is organic. You know, people connected with me. And today I have a wonderful network with people everywhere. And today also my network has increased when I am connecting with you all. Thank you very much for making me a part of your life. Build a reputation as a thought leader in your niche. Niche, it's your area where people should understand, yeah, this person, if you talk to them, he doesn't blabber or she doesn't blabber. They always talk sense, they always talk knowledge. And this is how you can upgrade yourself to the new media. People will take you over there, they will record you, and they will publish your views. It's a wonderful thing. Let's do the audit part now. We're left with 5 minutes. So these are some questionnaires, the checklist, through which we can understand that how our the professional presence, our networking is going on. What are the areas which we believe might be a qualified area? What are the areas? Is there any area in your life which we can consider as disclaimer opinion, or is there any area which might be like qualification which is very, very, very dangerous for us? Questions are beautiful. Questions are answers. And if the answers you are giving for yourself, that is what we call as introspection. Today we did introspection. We all did introspection, and you got the result. The first question: I dress, groom, and present myself in a way that builds confidence. Do you? I use confident body language in client and board meetings. Do you? I avoid jargon and explain concepts in simple, clear language. Do you? I regularly share professional insights online. Seriously? My LinkedIn profile accurately reflects my expertise and achievements. Quite possible, because there are a lot of ways to check it, cross check. Is it a truth or a lie? I am recognized as a subject expert in at least one niche area. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. And this is how you can create or you can build yourself as the expert of the topic. I actively attend industry or the institute's events to expand connections. I nurture relationships with peers, clients, and mentors regularly. I give reference, guidance, and resources to my network without expectation. I engage with digital platforms to showcase expertise. I collaborate with professional bodies, professionals for growth. I'm building a reputation as a thought leader in my field. Ladies and gentlemen, do give yourself marks. And this is the audit report of yours: 45 to 50 points. Indeed, you are a trusted professional brand, which is visible, which is credible, and people they connect with you. 35 to 44, if emerging presence, you have no presence, it is quite emerging. People are connecting with you. 25 to 34, your expertise is invisible to people. And below 25, we have a weak presence and we have a weak network. We need to find out that what is the area. And degree is amazing. Degree gives us the support. But the moment you enter the room, degree is the door. But the way people connect to you, they are the skills. And we need to understand the skills. We have to do the audit. Ladies and gentlemen, I tried to be an auditor today for you all. Do your own auditing and be your own reviewer and be your own support. It was wonderful connecting with you all today. Thank you very much for all the support. Thank you very much for making me a part of your life. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks to everyone. Now
Thank
over to our
you.
what you get today.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Now I will give a formal vote of thanks to you, sir. It has been such an honor to be a
Two
part
questions
of
are there. Two questions are there.
Okay,
In
let me
chat
check.
box.
Yes, yes, sir. Can you see or I can read this? How do you
Very
stay
please read it.
motivated? Yeah. How do you stay motivated and productive during repetitive tasks?
Oh, that's wonderful. You know what? If the task is repetitive, good. I don't need to use a lot of effort for that. I don't need to start it from zero. And my learning curve is at a peak. My experience curve is at a peak. That's a beautiful thing for me. It's a positive thing for me. Because at this task, I will be starting from a point different from zero. My resources, my efforts won't be wasted in relearning it. And the people around me, when they see myself in this particular topic, they would consider me as an expert of that topic, and quite possible they can make me their mentor. I can coach people, I can give mentorship. It means I have responsibility now. I have responsibility, and because it's a repetitive task, I'll try to bring something new every day by learning some more areas of the subject. And this is the way I always follow, because every day I have to speak and it's a repetitive task. So every day I try to bring something new. And that's the reason I chose this unique topic for the webinar today.
So, second question is, how do you handle situations where there is tension between you and a colleague?
Oh, wonderful. The first thing, I drink water. The first thing, I drink water. The second thing, I breathe, and I control my breathe, and I try not to reply. I try not to reply. I try not to reply, because if I reply at the same moment, it will be a reaction, and reactions are usually full of vices, malice, malefied, and I don't want to say something, but because of that reaction, I would utter something which I will regret ever. I take break from that part, and then I try to find out what was the issue we were talking about. Because I don't want to reply everyone. I want to find out if there's a the fight or if there's a crisis. I need to find out the cause. What was the cause? And if I'm the reason, then I have to understand that what is the area I have to work upon. But if that person is the reason, now I cannot say on the phrase that you are at fault. I need to find out the way through which I can pass on the message to the person. Sometimes someone else be the reason, the messenger, and sometimes I have to the messenger. But if I'm the messenger, I have to choose the right vocabulary. I have to choose a respectable way, and then I have to use the documented data that these are the areas where we are lacking. We have to work together. This is the way usually we know we do with our colleagues if there's a tension.
Okay, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much. So it has been such an honor to be a part of this wonderful webcast on mastering the intangible, a soft skill audit, organized by the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee (ICI). On behalf of the Professional Skill Enrichment Committee (ICI), we would like to extend our heartfelt gratitude to our speaker, Mr. Govind Mishra ji, his enlightened session. A wide round of applause and thanks to the organizer, Professional Skill Enrichment Committee (ICAI), and our today's speaker Govind ji, and other stakeholders made the webcast a memorable one. Finally, we would like to thank you all of you present over here and helping us make this webcast a grand success. Thank you, one and all. Thank you, sir. Thank you.